forming TBRs is hard, especially when you're in a reading slump, and yet, here we are again. Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be my September TBR. Okay, so there is a plan for this month, and that plan involves just basically throwing all of the books that I'm going to be talking about today at the wall that is in this case my mind, and just seeing what sticks. There is some strategy to all of this though. This is the last month for my summer TBR, and yet it's also the first month for fall. So I tried to do a mix of my summer TBR and then also books from my summer TBR that I feel like I can read in the fall and still be content. So with that, content warnings for all of the books that I talk about today will be linked down below in the description. Normally we would go in alphabetical order here, but I feel like I do have some categories that I can organize these books into, so we're going to do that instead and just mix it up some. So we're going to start this TBR off with my current read, which is So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. So This Is Ever After follows our main character who completes his prophecy of saving the kingdom from its evil ruler, and now him and his companions have no idea what to do with themselves. His best friend convinces him to take the throne until the heir can take his place until she dies, and he is stuck there. He now needs a spouse before his 18th birthday or he will fade away into nothing. So, slight disclaimer, I am filming this video a couple of days before the end of August. There is technically a slight, and I do mean a very slight chance that I do get this book done before the end of August. But yeah, I'm on page 2 of this book. I read the first page, my reading slump said no, we're not doing this today, and that was that. I will say it was a good first page. It felt really charming. I'm pretty sure it made me smile at one point. And I do think that this book has a lot more smiles coming from me in the future. I want this to be a 5-star so bad, and I do not want my reading slump to get in the way of that. Like I said, there is a slight chance that I do get this book done before the end of August, and this part of the video will be pointless, but also probably not, because like I said, page 2, and I have a reading slump. So, it's here. So next I do want to talk about some contemporary romances, because despite them being a favorite of mine for the summer, I realized recently that I haven't really read any, despite every intention to read a ton of them. I also tend to read contemporaries pretty quickly compared to other genres most of the time, and these are also all going to be pretty short, and my brain really likes that right now. And the first of those books is How to Make a Wish by Ashley Herring Blake. And this follows our main character Grace, who just wants her own life where she no longer feels trapped by her mother and the small Cape town where she lives. Her plan is to lay low until graduation, however this plan is disrupted when she meets another girl who is trying to escape from her own ghosts. They connect and develop feelings that were also not a part of Grace's plan, but this girl has a connection to Grace's mother, and they have to figure out where to go from there and how to move forward. This book has been on my TBR for way too long, and my dream for it has been to read it in the summer, preferably on a beach, but we'll see. We're running out of time here. And I honestly just want to read it at this point. So if you don't know, I read Girl Made of Stars, which is also by this author, I believe last year. And it basically turned this author into an insta-buy for me. I've also heard really good things about this book, and I really do think that I'm going to absolutely love it. I also think that it could absolutely destroy me, but I'm ready. So next is Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. This follows our main character who receives visions of how romances begin and how they will end. As she tries to figure out the reason why these visions exist, she finds herself at a dance studio learning from a boy who seems like he is everything that she is not. However, as they begin to dance around and also towards each other, our main character must question everything her visions have taught her about love and heartbreak. This is another book that I've heard really good things about, and it's also pretty short, which is something that my reading slump does tend to prefer, and the description sounds really compelling. I'm specifically interested in the visions, but the dancing also sounds really good, and I feel like there's potentially some really great romance scenes in here, and I'm just looking forward to all of it. And then next is Let's Talk About Love by Kann. So this takes place in the summer and follows our main character Alice, who has the perfect plan for how to spend said summer. However, the only thing missing from her plans is her now ex-girlfriend who broke up with her after after Alice told her she was asexual, which is an outcome that has since turned Alice away from the dating scene. That is until she meets this guy who she is starting to have feelings for, but she is unsure if she wants to risk their friendship for a love that may not be reciprocated or even understood. So this is another short and hopefully sweet book. I've talked about the happiness that is radiating from this cover before on this channel, and I feel like I could really use some of that in my own personal reading life, and also just life in general. It also confirmed takes place in the summer, which is not usually information I have prior to reading, and we love that, and I think there's going to be a lot to love about this book. So next I have some other books that are also in the romance area, but it's fantasy this time. And the first of those books is Hunted by the Sky by Tanaz Bhathena. Hunted by the Sky is set in medieval India and follows our main character who has a star-shaped birthmark on her arm that led to her parents' murder at the hands of the king's soldiers. She is then taken in by a group of rebel women where she begins training in warrior magic to get revenge. This also follows our other main character who is about to sign his life away to the army until he becomes entangled in our other main character's mission for revenge and discovers a magic that he never expected. So this book has been calling out to me lately, and I've been thinking about reading it a lot, which feels like a good sign, but I also guess you never really know. I also think that I've been really in love with just like the very existence of duologies lately. The romance in this book is described as high stakes, which will hopefully make for some complex and interesting dynamics, and I feel like the story holds a lot of potential. Sometimes revenge plotlines can get a little bit repetitive for me, but then again, I also do like revenge plotlines, so we'll see how it goes. And the second of these books is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling that is set in 1920 Shanghai. There are rival gangs and a monster, and our main character has to team up with her first love and also first betrayal, and they have to set aside their guns and their grudges in order to stop all of the mayhem. This sounds so good. Like, it's one of those books where as soon as I heard the description, I knew that I needed it in my life. And this book was a part of my July TBR, which is where my reading slump unfortunately began, and hopefully that reading slump will be gone by the time that I try to read this book again. Once again, the romance sounds complex and interesting, and honestly, a lot of things about this book sound complex and interesting. And I just want, no, I need all of this in my life. And next is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. So this follows our main character who is secretly a nine-tailed fox who has to devour the energy of men to survive. After feeding one night, she runs into a human boy who is being attacked by a goblin in the forest. In order to save him, she violates the rules of her survival and loses her fox speed in the process. These two develop a complex relationship with one another. However, when a generations-long feud reignites, our main character must choose between his life and her immortal one. When I think about books from my summer TBR that I would be perfectly content with reading in the fall, this is the book that comes to my mind, and my gut tells me that this is going to be a good bridge between the two TBRs. And of course, once again, there are complex relationship dynamics at play here, which seems to be a reoccurring topic for today's video, which is nice, and I like that. And the final book for this TBR is a book that I mostly just want to start this month, and we'll see what happens, and that book is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Skyward takes place on a planet where the remnants of the human race are trapped and being constantly attacked by alien starfighters. Our main character longs to be a pilot, and she discovers that that may actually be possible when she finds the wreckage of an old ship. So this is from my August TBR, and throughout the month of August, I gravitated towards alternating between the shorter and the longer books in that TBR. And that's how I found out that this book was 500 pages, which my reading slump finds very, very intimidating. But this is one of those books that, because of the author and because of all of the hype and good things that I've heard about it, and along with the fact that I think that this just sounds like a ton of fun, I could easily see myself getting really into this and never wanting to put it down. I've said it before, but I don't read nearly enough books that are in this kind of sci-fi setting, and I want to. I just need my reading slump to kindly exit out of my life though. Which is another reoccurring topic for this video, except this one is a lot less fun. Okay, so that is all I have for today's video. This is definitely probably too ambitious of a TBR for me right now, and it won't go as planned, but it also never does, and having a lot of books allows for a lot of flexibility with decision making. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!